And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday, April 8th. I am Josh Engleman. I'm here to break down a 9-game NBA slate. And this may just be the final fully normal scheduled process show of the year. Maybe we pop into one or two next week. Don't know. We'll see. Maybe we pop into one or two when we get the 4-game slates for the first round. But this is it, guys. We started this little journey back in October, and now, well, we started it last year, but now we're at the end of it all. It's been fun, man. It's been fun. I'm not going to lie. I'm ready to not wake up at 5:15. I'm ready for an extra couple minutes of sleep. I can't be mad, but it's been great being here each morning. Got a great crew. I love the morning crowd. So thank you guys for watching all season. It's been fun. I hope that you enjoyed the show. If you didn't, let me know. I'd love to improve it. It's not going anywhere. We'll be right back here for this again next season, that's for sure. But yeah, we're rounding it out. We're rounding it out. So thank you guys for being here. Hit that like button if you haven't done it yet, or as you get in the door. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. And then follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. Rise and grind, everybody. That's where it's at right there. Good morning to everybody that's in chat. Lots of good mornings. Justin Sports, happy birthday. I wouldn't play the slate, but that's up to you. But good morning to everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So we got to be out of here. We're not going to be here for a crazy amount of time, but I do have the hard out like I normally do on a Friday, but that's an hour and 15 minutes from now. So I say we just dive into it and get started. We got 9 games today. That's a real one. A couple teams on a back-to-back, so we'll be able to skip some stuff. But it's a normal Friday. You get me for contenders. You get me for strategy show. You get me for live before lock. So today is going to look very similar to yesterday. Yesterday's price is today's price for what we're doing today. So do I do MLB? I do. I like playing MLB DFS. I don't like talking about MLB DFS, but I will be on MLB shows sooner rather than later, I reckon. So let's dive into this. We know where to start. We already hit the rise and grind. I got my coffee. I'm excited to drink it. I'm incredibly thirsty. If you've got a coffee, tea, water, beer, if you're eating this morning, you've got a Pop-Tart or pizza or chicken nuggets or a taco or something, that's great too. Or if you're just smoking a joint to start your day, let's all do it together. Cheers to you guys. Let's win some money. Final process show of the regular season. Oh, that's good. That is good. And before we do anything, right there, banners at the top of the screen. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this show. Couldn't be happier to have them. Rocking the Prize Picks hat. Woo! Go to awesemo.com/prizepicks-promo or click that link in the description of the video. Get yourself 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You can't really beat that. Right out of the gate, it's a great deal. You also get a bit of a deposit bonus when you sign up at Prize Picks. We have the Prize Picks player prop tool at awesemo.com. That's going to help you out more than just about anything else you're going to find. Should set you up perfectly. So check that out. Check out everything we have behind the paywall after you sign up using that link. Izzy, everything's going to be different for every other person. The question is MLB easier than NBA? Every sport's exactly the same. The difficulty is based on the size of the contest for the most part. You know, the people that are playing dictate it to a degree, but in general, the size of the contest, you know, a 30,000 person MLB contest is going to be the same as a 30,000 person NBA contest. I prefer MLB from a DFS perspective. If we're talking about profitability, if we're talking about content, I prefer NBA big time. All right, let's dive into this. So we'll change the view. Got the depth charts up. First game up. Milwaukee Bucks at the Detroit Pistons. Milwaukee, 6-point favorites in Detroit. Obviously, Milwaukee is on the back-to-back, which complicates matters. Milwaukee, right now, a game ahead of Boston, a game ahead of Philly. Sorry. A half game ahead of Boston, a game ahead of Philly. The Bucks, 77% likelihood to be the 2 seed after yesterday. I don't have a great feel for what they're going to be doing today. And then for Detroit, we know that they're just not trying to win. So I think that we have to just assume everybody we had for Milwaukee yesterday is what we have today. Maybe Grayson Allen plays. I don't know. We don't have an injury report. They could sit everybody. Like, I have no concept on it, what they want to do here. Drew can sit, Chris can sit, Giannis can sit. I've got no lean, so I'm leaving everybody in for right now. I think that's all we can do. We just don't have enough extra info. Interesting that Portis played more. I'd have to trim these minutes just a little bit. Nah, I think we're good everywhere else. Yeah, so I'm leaving Milwaukee for what we had yesterday. Detroit, I'm sure sitting some people, but they're not on a back-to-back. So we at least know what they submitted to their injury report. Q tag on Corey Joseph, which is really annoying. Just sit him. Bagley out. Olynyk's back. Rodney Magruder's back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they've got at least 9 guys, potentially 10. Everything's a lot easier here. So let's get Corey Joseph back out there, even though he hasn't played in the last 3 games. I think he'd already be out if he wasn't out. Killian Hayes. You get Saban Lee out of there. I just need to unearth a couple extra minutes. We got to get Kelly Olynyk back out there. I don't think Braxton Key is going anywhere. I just don't totally know where the rest of these minutes are going to come from. I guess Carson Edwards probably doesn't need to play. Wait, did they play yesterday? No, it was just 2 days ago that I talked about Carson Edwards. Fair enough. Let's get Kelly Olynyk in for standard issue backup run. And Magruder's going to play. I don't know where the rest of these minutes are coming from. I guess maybe I have Frank Jackson a bit too high. Get me Magruder to 10. That should cover us. Don't have to make any other rate changes. Isaiah Livers is probably the guy that's going to stand out the most here. But actually, yeah, let's take 2 minutes away from Livers. Let's give 2 more to Hayes. Take 2 more away from Frank Jackson. Give those to Hayes. Still don't really like much here. Sadiq Bey, probably the guy that I want to get to most. Honestly, probably could take another minute away from him too. Sadiq Bey continues to have that ridiculous price on FanDuel. So game 1's in the books. And I think I have something in my eye, which is going to bother me. But we'll see. I'll blink it away. Alrighty. Let's look at Milwaukee. Now, again, we don't know what's going on with Milwaukee. They could be playing anybody. But Giannis clearly stands out as the best option from Milwaukee. And probably not much else. Detroit, on the other hand, it's still Sadiq Bey, 5,200 on FanDuel. This price is going down. Just play Sadiq Bey on FanDuel. Play Cade Cunningham on DraftKings, honestly. Shooting guard, small forward, so you get that benefit of guard forward utility. There's not a lot here in this first game, guys. There's just not. You guys can see it here. You know, we get Giannis and Sadiq Bey, 6 points better than anything else in that game on FanDuel. Giannis Cade, probably your two best options. Livers is going to tumble on a 9-gamer. Honestly, nothing really is going to look all that good on DK. We go to game 2, New York Knicks at the Washington Wizards. Neither one of these teams have anything to play for. That's usually not the best thing in the world, but they're also not on back-to-backs. So at least we're going to know what's going on. Mitchell Robinson is out. Quentin Grimes is questionable. We already know Julius Randle, Rose, Walker, Reddish are all out. So there's going to be a little bit of value here for the Knicks. We had no Mitchell Robinson on Wednesday. We ended up getting 43 minutes of Obi Toppin in regulation. So there's that. Jericho Sims played 34 minutes. I'm going to give him 32. We'll give... He played alongside Taj as well. So we'll give Taj 16 plus another... Actually, maybe just like 2. I'm going to take Obi Toppin up to 34. Although, honestly, 36 feels pretty safe. If they're not going to open up the rotation any further. But ultimately, I think the rest of this rotation just fills itself out. Alec Burks might play a little bit more. I'm going to take him up to 34. We've got quickly in for 27. That seems right for him. 28 for Fournier seems right for him. Miles McBride played minimally because, well, guys like Toppin played so much. I think what we have in here for New York looks fine. Honestly, I thought these guys would pop a little bit more, but they don't really. Now, if you think that Obi Toppin's going to play 36 minutes or that Jericho Sims is going to play more, I think that's fine, but I also don't trust it. So let's go to Washington then. For the Wizards, do we know anything? Is Porzingis playing? No Kuzma, and that's it. So they're at full strength. We've seen their full strength roster a lot as of late. Anthony Gill did get back into the rotation, so that actually makes this a bit easier. Ish's minutes came back down. Satoranski's came back up. They split exactly 48 minutes. We're going to make that a little bit closer now. We still have spillover for Neto. Rui could probably get an extra minute from me, so we'll get him up to 30. Denny's at 30. Probably go to 31, but I think it's fine. Kispert continues to play big minutes. Porzingis continues to play around 30. Gafford as the backup. I don't have anything else to change for Washington. Don't think we're getting a lot out of this game either. Start with the Knicks, and we get RJ Barrett on FanDuel. 7,600. You get shooting guard, small forward. Big usage, big minutes. No surprises. After that, I'd say no real priorities. On the Wizards side, though, there's nothing here. I mean, you can make a case that Porzingis looks bad at 8,700. I wouldn't say bad, but it'll look bad relatively as we get there. Here's the example. Look where these guys show up on DraftKings. Oh, we get Jericho Sims at the top. But, I mean, Barrett and Toppin are all single digits already. We're going to have so many guys above Jericho Sims. I assume... I wouldn't be surprised if we have 9 to 10 more guys above Jericho Sims. RJ Barrett slots into that double-digit list with FanDuel, but these first 2 games are just not going to be all that appealing. We're going to unearth just such massive value in a couple of these spots. Let's go to Cleveland and Brooklyn. This game matters a lot. We want to talk through it a bit. For Cleveland, they are a game ahead of the Brooklyn Nets for the 7 seed. Well, a game ahead of the Brooklyn Nets and the Atlanta Hawks. And then obviously the Nets are in this whole big mess as well. So the Cavs have a 50% chance at the 7 seed, 27 at the 8, 18 at the 9, and 5 at the 10. This game is huge, especially if the Nets lose. Neither one of these teams wants to fall into the 9-10. So to me, both teams are going for this one pretty aggressively, which is helpful from a rotation standpoint. You would expect both teams to want this. Evan Mobley is questionable. I didn't know that. I haven't seen anything or heard anything on Mobley, so I'd like to see there's not even a blurb. Is he going to play today? Anybody in chat think he's going to play? Does anybody know if he practiced yesterday? I'm going to say that Mobley plays, I guess. I think we have to assume that, given how big the game is. So, Kevin Love, 24 minutes. Moses Brown's minutes are going to come out of there with, a pretty big chunk. We're going to get Evan Mobley in for, let's say 30. I'll give Moses Brown 10. Then I can take minutes away from someone else. Possible they just go to more Chetty. Although, are they going to go to... Yeah, no, they're going to maintain a 9-man rotation. He did practice yesterday, Kevin. Thank you. I hadn't seen anything. I don't follow Cleveland at all. We also have to think about Rondo, too. All right, so I think Chetty is going to leave the rotation and Rondo is going to go back into it. That makes the most sense to me. There we go. Is Larry Marketing going to play 33 minutes? I mean, he's been playing it. I just don't know if that's going to continue. I could also probably safely take some playing time away from Isaac Okoro. Although, we'll take 1 minute away from Okoro. We'll take 2 minutes away from Lamar Stevens. We'll give those minutes to Moses Brown, and I'm gonna call it at that mark. Although LeVert for 34, I'm gonna make that 33. Now I think we're good. Evan, nice, excellent. Now on the Brooklyn side, and we expect Brooklyn to just smack Cleveland around here. They're a much better team, but Seth Curry's probable. Dragic still out. James Johnson no longer on the team. He was cut yesterday. So let's get him out of there just to make life easier. But we kind of know what we're doing here for Brooklyn. James Johnson hasn't played for the previous 2 games. We haven't had Dragic for the previous 2 games. Seth Curry came back, played 30 minutes. We got massive minutes out of Kyrie and Kevin Durant. I'm taking those guys up to 38 now. But otherwise, 24 for Patty Mills feels right. I guess I can get a little bit more playing time to Kessler Edwards. I just got to figure out where it comes from. Drummond now 3 straight games, low 20s in minutes. And they went for it last time. So now they did win by 12. Drummond didn't finish his second quarter rotation and it wasn't foul trouble, and then didn't close. They closed Curry, Durant, Bruce Brown, Kyrie, and Patty Mills. Patty Mills just playing, he was plus 22 in the fourth quarter. So again, I still think that Drummond is expected to close a game if it matters. I am going to bring the minutes down a little bit to 23, but I think that he is going to try to close. And now I do need to give more minutes to Kessler Edwards, so let's get him up to 18. And then 28 for Seth Curry feels right. Although I guess he played 30. So maybe it should be 30. 38 for Durant and Kyrie seems fine. We did get minutes out of Aldridge, so I'll give him 5, and that'll do it for Brooklyn. For Cleveland and Brooklyn. And a banana. Glad you enjoy this. Karis LeVert on FanDuel is $5,600. That's $1,600 cheaper than it is on DraftKings. Go ahead and get yourself some Karis LeVert on FanDuel, even if Mobley is back. Garland would be your only other option here for Cleveland. And, it stands out just because facing Brooklyn is a good matchup. On the Brooklyn side, Kyrie on FanDuel at $9,400 is your best option. Durant is probably appropriately priced in the high 11s. Not a lot of priorities here, though, either. We add game number 3. We see LeVert into the 3 spot. Kyrie Irving and Garland both on FanDuel. They are part of that core. But look at that separation. Garland is a +10 in plus minus. Isaiah Stewart is a 7. That's a 3-point gap. There's just like a thick line drawn right here. On DK, it's way flatter, way more blurry. You get Garland into that 4 spot. You get Kyrie, Bruce Brown, Durant all in the top 10. I expect those guys to fall. But on FanDuel, they look a little bit better. Game number 4 now. And again, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. We have 63 viewers in here, 35 likes. I like to see it. We go to Houston. Houston Rockets are 14.5-point underdogs in Toronto. Toronto, obviously, on the back-to-back. Houston, nothing to play for. The Raptors are basically set for the 5 seed. They are 2 games ahead of the Bulls. They are 2 games behind the Sixers. They would either need to lose both games and have the Bulls win both games, or opposite for the opposite direction of this one. Doesn't seem particularly likely, so I don't think that the Raptors have a ton to play for either. I just really don't. There's no real way for us to project the Raptors in this case. For Houston, they have nothing to play for. Same guys that have been out are out. So I'm going to assume that they're just doing the same stuff they've been doing, which is big minutes for Jalen Green, big minutes for Kevin Porter Jr., bigger minutes for Alperen Şengün. We're going to take Kevin Porter up to 35. We're going to take Jalen Green up to 36. We've got Kenyon Martin in for 27. That seems like too many. I think I need to go to more Josh Christopher. Get him up to 28. But Houston's pretty easy, and nobody really looks all that good. On the Toronto side, this one's impossible. I'm going to assume that Van Vliet plays. Just because he sat yesterday. I think it's more likely that we see like no Pascal Siakam today. But who really knows? So there's 34 minutes. We'll get 35 to Van Vliet and Trent. 38 stays for Siakam. 36 stays for Scotty Barnes. We're going to take Boucher down to 24. Precious down to 24. Kem Birch down to 16. Is that going to be enough to get OG Anunoby in here? Or is he just out? He might just be out. Maybe we leave OG Anunoby out of this one. And we assume we get a little bit of Malachi Flynn. I don't have any real changes to make. Obviously, they're going to pop because it's Houston. But we know that we're going to see guys for Toronto get ruled out. Like on Houston, if you want to go to Şengün or Christopher, I think it's okay. I don't think these guys look all that good. On the Toronto side, though, I mean, Siakam, Barnes, Trent, and Van Vliet are all stacked. This entire Toronto team looks exceptional. They're going to look even better if guys get ruled out. There's just no way to really deal with it right now. I almost want to soften this somehow, but I can't. If we look at this, if I add them in right now, just so I can get a quick idea, top 4 guys are all Raptors. I don't feel comfortable with that. But I think it's legitimate as well. Like, I guess I can knock Scotty Barnes' minutes down 1. I can soften it a little. But, you know, Siakam plays 38 minutes a game. That one's real. I think Trent for 35 and Fred VanVleet for 35 all make sense. So I don't really have much that I can change. I think we're just going to really, really like Toronto. Just keep your eyes peeled. But look at this. Gary Trent is your number 1 guy on FanDuel now at 5,300. I think both he and Sadiq Bey look very, very similar. Separated by $100, same position, basically. But on DK, Siakam, Trent, VanVleet, 1, 2, 3. Scotty Barnes, 5th. And I don't think that anything there is crazy either. You know, do I want Siakam, VanVleet, and Barnes in the same lineup? Like, that's a lot of salary against Houston. You're probably going to want to run that back with one of the Houston guys, but I don't get the sense that all those guys are going to play. I think Pascal Siakam is not going to play tonight. We shall see. Charlotte and Chicago. The Hornets are 2.5-point dogs in Chicago, 228 total. Let's figure out where these teams stand from a playoffs perspective. So we've got Charlotte and Chicago. The Bulls are essentially locked into the 6th seed. They would have to win out and have Toronto lose out for them to jump up to 5. The Hornets are more than likely the 10 seed. They are a game behind Atlanta and a game behind Brooklyn. So if the Hornets win here, they're live to get into the 8. They've got a 13% chance to get to the 8 seed, a 16% chance to have the home court with the 9 seed. The more likely scenario is that they drop one of these next 2 and finish in the 10. But I think both teams in this case are mostly going for it. Chicago's got a case to sit some guys that might be a little dinged up since they can't really move. But for Charlotte, we know what we're getting here. Well, one, we're getting a team on a back-to-back, so we don't have anything to add. I'm assuming Gordon Hayward's not playing, but I don't know. I mean, he hasn't played the past 2 games. Doesn't make me think that he's going to play today. Which means that I'm going to the exact same rotation I had yesterday. So, same rotation for yesterday's game as we had for today for Charlotte. For Chicago. Now, the Bulls didn't play yesterday. So, at the very least, we have an injury report. For Chicago, it's a Q tag on Caruso. Otherwise, everything else is normal, which means that we're going to a normal rotation. And in that case, I don't really see a natural change. You know, we've got Levine back. So this all looks good to me. I would not be surprised to see news come out about the Bulls where they're sitting guys. So keep your eyes out for Chicago Bulls news. We don't have it now, but I think it will come. For the Hornets, we're going to Terry Rozier again. 6,500 on FanDuel, 6,800 on DraftKings. I think he stands out. I think you can go to Bridges or Ball or PJ Washington if you think this one's going to be competitive. It's a great matchup. On the Bulls side, though, if Vooch is in, he looks great on both sides. You got to remember, facing Charlotte is great. It is an exceptional matchup. Charlotte they're not as fast as they were earlier this season. They are 10th, but not a great defense. I really like Vooch on both sites. I really like Zach LaVine on both sites. He's 6,900 on FanDuel now. I understand that he's hurt. I just can't care. How bad has his play been, actually, if we look at just true talent, Darko style? LaVine. Yeah, so like he's actually been arguably better over the past 10 games. So I think LaVine is exactly where we want him to be. I really like getting there. Bol, you are wrong. Charlotte is way more than one player away. But play Vooch, play LaVine, and you'll be able to see that here. Vooch, number one spot on FanDuel, passes Trent, Giannis, and Sadiq Bey. But clearly that four-man core works really well. Levine and Rozier slot into 6 and 7. I think those three that we just added for this game look fantastic. Similar story on DraftKings. Vooch, Levine, Rozier. I like all of them. They're all in the top 6. It all stands out to me. 4 games to go now. Atlanta Hawks, 2-point dogs in Miami, 229 total. Now, Atlanta has a ton to play for. They are right now in the 9. They are tied with the Nets for the 8th spot. Game ahead of the Hornets. Game back of Cleveland. Atlanta is 15% for the 7, 28 for the 8, 44 for the 9, 12 for the 10. It's a total crapshoot right now, basically, for those final 4 spots. So the Hawks are certainly going for this. The Heat have essentially clinched the number 1 seed. They would have to lose out, and the Bucks would have to win out in order for the Bucks to take the 1 seed. I would not be surprised at all to see someone from the Miami Heat sit in this game, but we do not know that as of yet. We do know that Atlanta and Miami did not play yesterday, which means that we have injury report info. When we know that PJ Tucker, I believe, is out for this one. Everybody is available that normally is available for Atlanta, which is helpful to know. We saw Gallo get back up over 30 minutes again. So I'm going to give him that playing time. Everything else for this team should probably be correct. Rose be raging. I don't know, man. Kelly Oubre's 26. I think we know what we've got out of him. A uneventful NBA player. See how the career of Kelly Oubre has looked. Yeah, Atlanta rotation is pretty normal. It's just always great. All right. Historical career. Oubre. Yeah, hasn't been great. Hasn't been great. Peaked here, but tumbling a bit. His peak was age 24. Where was he? Was that Golden State? Now, last year in Phoenix. Yeah, shot 35% from 3. That'll do it. 18 a game. Let's go to Miami. And this is the one we don't know. Miami just has no incentive. Have they announced anything yet? Look at this. Q tag on Gabe Vincent, Dedmon, Martin, Haywood Highsmith, Markieff Morris, Yurt 7. Yeah, Ross, there's no time to grow. He's 26 years old. He is what he is now. You don't grow more at 26 into a different player. He's a negative asset. Doesn't play for the 9th best team in the East. At some point in time, you just got to think about how you're wrong. Everything else points in the opposite direction. All right, so other than no PJ Tucker, we know what's going on here. Now, the question is, who fills in for PJ Tucker? And I don't really know the answer to that question. I got most of these guys' minutes look fine. I guess it's Caleb Martin just playing like a shit ton. Yeah, Chris, he's not a good role player. That's the thing. He's not. He's maybe a rotation player. I know that sounds harsh, but we can't grade everybody as just like exceptional here. He's barely in the rotation for Charlotte. Kelly Oubre it's league average true shooting. He's basically been totally blah this year. Maybe I'm not giving him as much credit as I should, but Like, how is Kelly Oubre shooting 67% from the line? He doesn't turn the ball over, but he doesn't get anybody else involved. He's a terrible rebounder. Like, he's just a guy. There's not much else to talk about. Like, he might not even be on the Hornets next year. I don't know what he's supposed to be. You know, shooting 34% from 3 this year. 32 last year, 35 the year before. Like, what is he good at? I don't know what he's good at. All right, let's look at this game here for Atlanta and Miami. Chris, I wholeheartedly disagree with Hornets need a better coach. Bogdan Bogdanovic, probably the best option here from Atlanta. And remember, facing Miami is never a good fantasy game. Bogdanovic, 5,300 on FanDuel and DraftKings. There are just no priorities from Atlanta. On Miami, probably not any priorities. Although, if you want to go to 8K BAM on FanDuel with power forward eligibility, I think that looks good. Similar, 8,100 just center on DraftKings is fine too. This is not a game that ranks high. Bam is 12th on FanDuel. Butler, 15th. No one from Atlanta. We also don't have anybody from Atlanta show up on DraftKings. And nobody from Miami is like all that highly ranked either. Not a great game. Oh, speaking of not great games. Portland Trailblazers are 18-point underdogs against Dallas in Dallas. 221 total. Portland on a back-to-back. I assume everybody that played yesterday is in. Dallas is still fighting for the 3 seed or the 4 seed. They are a game behind Golden State for the 3. So they're trying to win. And honestly, it's an embarrassment. If the only reason they don't win this game is if they don't want to win it. I'm going to assume Portland plays everybody that they played yesterday. Just same shit. Chris Dunn didn't play a ton. Brandon Williams didn't play a ton. This is going to be pretty grimy. Keon Johnson did play a lot. Keldon Blevins played a bit less. That unearths a couple minutes for Elijah Hughes. I can get more minutes for Keon Johnson. 32 minutes for Eubanks is sort of just what he needs to do. Brandon Williams. I don't think he's going to play all that much. I don't think we're going to be rostering anybody from Portland outside of potentially Drew Eubanks. Kelly on the Warriors is a person, don't forget. No, wasn't. He wasn't. He's just a guy. Yeah, exactly. He's just a guy. Yeah, Monk went to LA because they were like the odds-on favorite to win the NBA title to win the West. Did I agree with that? Probably not, but that's why it happened. All right, Portland done. Let's go to Dallas. I mean, Dallas should rest guys, but they probably just go out there and beat the tar out of Portland quickly. Q tag on Maxey, otherwise we're good. Ken, everything is on paper. It has to be. If you're not putting it on paper, you're probably unsuccessful at everything you do. Best you can do is try to give yourself the best guess with all of the information you have. It's always going to be on paper. That's how everybody succeeds. All right, Dinwiddie definitely losing some playing time for this one. Trey Burke, playing time can go away. Josh Green's looks fine. Bertans looks fine. I got to get Maxey back out there. I need way more minutes than 13 for Maxey. We'll take Bertans down to 12. That gets Maxey up to 17. We'll take Dwight Powell down to 24. That gets Maxey up to 21. That should be good. And honestly, I think I need to take a minute away from Luka just so he doesn't look too crazy today. Everybody else, I think, is going to be good enough. So don't play anybody from Portland unless we get a lot of news that people are out. Drew Eubanks, 6K on FanDuel is, to me, the only thing you want to get to from Portland. On the Dallas side, Luka Doncic, probably the only real priority. Reggie Bullock, not the worst idea in the world, but remember, he's not very good from a fantasy perspective. Joey, I can tell you that I have bet the Clippers outright. We've heard nothing on Kawhi, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he comes back into the playoffs. And I am banking on that. But I have already bet on... that. So, join me in betting on the Clippers for a wildly long shot. Josh, what football team are you rocking with? Liverpool. I don't know if that's the way you're asking me that question, but that is my answer. Phoenix, 2.5-point dogs in Utah, 226 total, 2 games to go. We got to keep this one moving. For Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns are obviously well clinched for the number 1 seed. It's not close. They're 8 games up on the Grizzlies with 2 to play. I don't know if they've announced anything yet. For Utah, however, Utah basically set in stone for the 5 seed. They're 2 games behind Dallas to get up to the 4. They have a game in hand on the Nuggets right now. So Utah would have to basically lose out. So unless we have news, I just have to kind of assume these guys are just going to play reduced minutes, at least for Phoenix. Everybody's available for the Suns. I don't think that anybody's going to play anything. Yeah, I think it's going to look a lot more like that, too, just flat. Yeah, not in the AM, bro. You're not even remotely close. Take Paul down to 30. I'm going to take Devin Booker down to 32. I'm going to take Bridges down to 32. I just don't want to give any of these guys a lot of minutes. Yeah, if the Clippers get the 7 seed, I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Grizzlies in the playoffs. I don't think that they're like, I'd be very surprised if they beat Phoenix. The Clippers have to get the 7. If the Clippers can get the 7, they can do a lot of damage. All right. Phoenix done. Utah. Everybody's available for Utah. And I assume they're trying to win. So this is mostly going to be their normal rotation. So let's do something like, gotta get Conley in for 30, 35 for Mitchell. No real changes here for the Utah Jazz. Not a lot to like either against Phoenix. I mean, you don't have to quote me in 3 weeks. It's the outcome doesn't change what you're saying. I mean, you added the Grizzlies into that list. That's insane. Insane. Obviously, Bucks and Suns. There's no disagreement there. They're the two favorites. But, I mean, the Grizzlies are plus 1,500 to win the NBA title. There are 7 teams ahead of them. Yeah, I could add Greg Monroe to the Timberwolves. Yeah, I guess I can move that over. It's not going to matter. He's not going to play for any of them. Let's look at this Phoenix-Utah game. For Phoenix, until we get news, they're unplayable. Utah, mostly unplayable unless you want to go to Mitchell. I don't think the Miami Heat are going to win the NBA title, but the East can break in a good way for them. And their defense is going to be a real giant problem. So be aware of that. Let's close this out. OKC, 8-point dogs in LA, 227 total. All right, now Oklahoma City signed somebody. I don't remember who it was. It's Melvin Frazier. So let's go ahead and get him in there. Yeah, the Grizzlies shouldn't be taken seriously in the playoffs, especially because of the status of Ja Morant, too. Let's be clear here. Their best player is also a gigantic injury risk that isn't healthy right now. New teams just don't make that leap. They just don't. They're a guy away. They're absolutely a guy away. And that's fine. I really, really, really want them to end up with Rudy Gobert after this season. I want them to trade Steven Adams, and, they're probably going to have to give up a couple picks, which they have. Maybe Bane has to be a part of that. Or maybe you can get away with making it Brooks, honestly. But I like the idea of going to Gobert. I don't think that's what's going to happen. And I think there are obviously better options. But I would like to see Gobert go to Memphis, if that's the type of guy that they can get. Because I think Gobert is not going to be on Utah next year. Although maybe it's Mitchell that goes. All right, let's try to figure out this OKC rotation. They've got not a lot of basketball players here. So let's just start from scratch. I don't even know how big these guys are. Is Gobert that much better than Adams? Yeah, it's not close. It's so not close that it's insane. All right, let's figure this out. I don't even know what position these idiots play. All right, let's do 25 minutes for Lindy Waters. Yes. S&P, nailing it. Oh, yeah, look, white noise. I mean, like, I would like the Turner fit too, but he's got 1 year left on his deal. We don't know the status of his foot. I mean, you can get Turner for a lot less. I would like to do that, but I also don't think that makes the giant difference. All right, we're going to go Roby, 32 minutes. We'll give the backup 16 to JRE. So it's basically 7-man lineup. We'll get Khaled Zykis in for 30. We'll get Jalen Horde in for 34. We'll get Melvin Frazier in for 30. Justin Gaethje in for 30. Xavier Simpson in for 34. So that's all 8, and I still have 9 minutes left. So screw this team completely. Oh, man. So it's basically a 7-man rotation once you take out JRE. All right, we'll go 32 here. Go 26 to Waters. And this is really difficult to do. Who do I give these final 6 minutes to? Give 2 more to Frazier, I guess. I mean, I could see if the Pelicans are fully healthy next year, then I think that they could flirt with a home court series in the first round. That's how good Zion is. But I would guess probably in the 5-6 range would be the most likely scenario. I still have 4 more minutes to give these guys. Who do I give it to? Well, I'll give 2 more to Earl just in case. And then I'm just going to give him 4 so I don't get anybody else. Good luck. Good luck with OKC today. And then good luck with the LA Lakers today. Or sorry, the Los Angeles Lakers. They are not the LA Lakers. They are the Los Angeles Lakers. The Clippers are the LA Clippers. I assume we're not getting Russ or LeBron or AD or Melo, I guess. All right. Austin Reeves, let's give him 32 minutes. We'll give Dwight Howard 24. We'll give Stanley Johnson 34. Wenyen Gabriel 24. 22 to Augustine. 33 to Monk. Got Wayne Ellington out there for 14 minutes. Jalen Horton-Tucker out there for a ton. Obviously, he went nuts last night. Bazemore gets 14. Avery Bradley plays a bit. That's your Lakers team, guys. That's your Lakers team. All right, final game. OKC. Ord, Frazier, Khaled Zykis, Xavier Simpson, Isaiah Roby, Melvin Frazier. They all look good. Everything on OKC except for Jeremiah Robinson Earl is in play. On the Lakers, jam in Talen Horton-Tucker, Stanley Johnson, Malik Monk. This is just a problem. Look at what happens here. Look at game 9. The top 5 plays on FanDuel, and honestly, 4 of them are on a completely different tier. That they're 5 points ahead. The top 4 plays on FanDuel are all in the or top 5 plays are all on Lakers OKC. It's 7 of the top 7 and 8 of the top 9 on DraftKings. What a ridiculous game. Of the top 14 guys, 10 of them on DraftKings are coming from this game. What do we do with that? What do we do with that? Let's run crunches, I guess. Good luck if you're playing this slate and playing that game. Just truly, good luck. Because it's a disaster. All right, let's start here. FanDuel Optimal. And if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. We are through 9 games. This is the final process show of the regular season and maybe the final process show of the entire year. 104 viewers, 60 likes. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't. FanDuel Optimal. Luka Doncic, Xavier Simpson, Malik Monk, Talen Horton-Tucker, Jalen Horde, Stanley Johnson, Giannis, Isaiah Roby, Vooch. So it's late game stack plus Luka, Giannis, and Vooch. Whew. And then power rankings, which might actually look even more ridiculous than that optimal did. The 370. Oh my God. Oh. Well, we're obviously going to have enough salary to pay up for everyone and anyone. That's not going to be difficult. Okay, we're at the final here. So power rankings on FanDuel. Talen Horton-Tucker, number 1, not close. Jalen Horde, Giannis, Stanley Johnson, Malik Monk, Luka Doncic, Pascal Siakam. That's everybody north of 20%. Let's go to DraftKings. DK Optimal. What do we got? This one might look even more ridiculous. Luka Doncic, Melvin Frazier, Talen Horton-Tucker, Stanley Johnson, Vooch, Monk, Horde, Bam Adebayo. Lineup number 2, which you got to drop down a bunch for, does get you the Luka Giannis combination with only Lakers and Thunder guys. All right. DraftKings power rankings. So, Tex, you do get Yahoo. It's Friday. Yahoo is on Fridays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are Yahoo days. Talen Horton-Tucker is the very, very, very obvious number 1 play today. You play him in everything. He's the first guy into every lineup. There's basically no way for him to fail. Like, he's just going to play 30-plus minutes at a sub 4K price tag. You don't have a choice. Malik Monk, 2nd. Jalen Horde, 3rd. Stanley Johnson, 4th. And then you just can basically take anybody else that remains on the slate. But Horton-Tucker, Monk, Horde, they separate from the pack a lot. We get all the THT. And now, the final optimal crunch of the regular season on the process. Yahoo Optimals. Guys, thanks for being here. Fun year. Honestly, really fun year. I can't believe it's over already. We've been getting up super early, having coffees and hot dogs and Pop-Tarts and stuff together for a while now. Yahoo Optimal. Van Vliet, Monk, Doncic, THT, Obi Toppin, Jalen Horde, Bam Adebayo, Isaiah Roby. Nothing crazy there. Toppin's still $18. We know he's going to play a ton. Finally, Yahoo Power Rankings. Ooh. Robert, thanks for being here. Well, THT is going to be on the top of the Yahoo Power Rankings. No surprises. Jalen Horde is going to be a relatively close second. Malik Monk is firmly in third. And then you get to Van Vliet, Siakam, Doncic, and then everything gets super duper flat. So, how? We're done, guys. We're done. The season of the process show is complete. The NBA regular season to me is finished, even though I do have the Sunday morning strategy show yet. So I am not done after today. We do have Sunday morning strategy show, so we'll be there. But this has been fun. Good luck if you're playing. If you're not going to be able to be around for news, don't play this slate. You need to be around, and you need to be like available all the way up until the late game. If you can't be available all the way up until tip-off of the late game, you should not be playing this slate. There's too much news. It's too important. But good luck, everybody. Thank you for being here. Best of luck on everything you guys are doing. This was The Process.